Previously on Dice Versa.
He sort of like stumbles and trips backward into the corner with his hands up to protect himself, and he says in Aslanti, "Stop! Who are you? What do you want?"
Are we the bad guys?
The door slides open to reveal a Aslanti as he emerges from a bathroom stall.
Give him a swirly.
All right, I'm gonna stab him. Trick attack.
Mishka, while you were looking around, did you find anything to restrain our friend here?
Hey, there's a med bay up here. The beds have some straps we could lock him down on.
You see the captain and the other crew member walking down the hall.
Are you sure you don't want to surrender before it's too late?
What do you even want from me?
We just want your ship.
Never!
Okay. Are you sure you want to keep going? You are the last one standing.
He drops all of his weapons and falls to his knees and puts his hands behind his head as he watches his captain fall dead to the ground. Fine, just don't do that to me.
Ukko, sheathing his trident and blade, is going to start squeezing down the hall here to go through this captain's items and belongings.
Okay.
Like, specifically, datapad, comm, keys.
Weapons.
So he's wearing a little bit heavier armor than the engineers were wearing. He has a static arc pistol and a knife. He also has a basic comm unit. He doesn't have any key for the ship on him or anything like that, because you would probably know that it's not like an ignition on the ship. There's a startup code that would be needed.
That's essentially what I was implying, but didn't word good.
You guys could make some computers checks if you wanted to try to find that out, or you could go ask Talmrin if she has any idea how to do it.
Ukko will pocket the comm unit,
Okay.
and then take the battery out of the arc pistol, and then drag the body into the medical office as I'm squeezing in between things. Just sort of plops it down, looks to the other pair, and gives the smile nod, and here, and tosses over the battery pack to Navessah.
Thanks, Ukko. And she looks at the captain. He might have been a little bit more useful alive, but he didn't sound like he was gonna give up without a fight anyway, so good job, I guess?
Yeah, thanks. Oh, here, this too.
And Ukko will just hold out his little datapad comm unit thing.
I don't know if you guys could use this or anything.
I'm sure that Mishka and I can crack this open and see if we can find anything useful in here. Thank you, Ukko. Meanwhile, I'm going to pull up my comm unit and basically just send a quick text to Talmrin, just being like, "We've acquired the relic. Come meet us when you can."
And you get an immediate response back that just says, "On my way."
Talmrin will be here soon.
Excellent.
Ukko gives a nod, and then we'll turn to the so far most cooperative, the one from the kitchen in the first bed here next to Ukko, with his hulking form sort of leans onto the bed, arms on both sides as he leans over in his Lanti.
So, you're an engineer, right? You know how to turn this thing on? You got a code or something? Make it work for us?
Fine. You can have the code.
Hey,
You can have it.
great.
Just-
Appreciate the help.
Just don't let me bleed out, please.
Right, yeah. Mishka stabbed you.
Oh, yes. Sorry about that. Let me take care of it. These medical beds, would they do the trick for what he needs?
Make a computers check.
Ooh, Pinoki.
While they're doing this, I think Navessah is going to go to the airlock to meet Talmrin.
Oh, great. That's a 9.
So you know just generally that these types of medical beds are pretty advanced, and they have some automated systems for basic medical procedures. So you go through the computer looking for an automated stitching program or something like that, but you don't find anything. But luckily you do notice that the computer is on top of a stack of drawers, and so you go through those drawers and you do find some basic medical supplies like disinfectant and some needle and thread for stitching as well, so you can do it manually.
Alright, then I'll suture this guy up, or whatever he needs.
Oh, hey, real quick.
Ukko reaches into his backpack and pulls out an analgesic and sticks the guy so he doesn't feel as much pain.
All right. He like nods appreciatively at you as you do that, and then nervously watches as, I mean, he's surrounded by aliens, so he's already pretty uncomfortable, and now Mishka is approaching him with a needle and thread, but he is tied down and figures it's better than nothing. And yeah, go ahead and make a medicine check, Mishka.
Sure. Hopefully I roll better this time.
It wasn't intentional, but I love that the only human left the Atlantia alone with the two aliens.
Yep.
That's a 20 on the medicine check.
All right, with that 20, you do a pretty good job. Pretty clean stitching, and he looks at the finished product of it, and you can tell that he is relieved and happy with the job done, and he relaxes a little bit. And then as the analgesic is like really setting in now, you can tell that he's like getting a little woozy and sleepy, and he just sort of passes out.
Hey,
Smacks him a bit.
hey, you can sleep
You know we have another one.
after the code. What do we need? Come on.
Another.
Come on.
The code, yes. Either in the engine room or the helm you can input 39433.
39433. Alright. Hey, passwords for those computers or anything? Any key?
It is a simple system. I'm sure you can figure it out.
No, I can't.
I need to rest. I can give you more information later. I'm clearly not going anywhere.
True. Fine.
And with that, Ukko just gets off the bed and leaves him to rest.
You know, I was gonna say he learned an important lesson about racism until you started slapping him.
Navessah, you make your way down to the airlock, and you can see through the window of the outer door that bridge still extends out to the dock, and you see Talmrin's small form awaiting, just like sort of standing at the far end of the bridge inside of the dock. It doesn't look like she's coming towards the ship.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll send a quick message to Mishka and Ukko, just being like, looks like Talmrin won't be coming aboard. Did you all want to come with to meet them, or?
How about you go talk to her? I'm going to go try and find a way to turn the ship on.
I'll stay here.
Very well. But I'll space helmet up and airlock out and go and meet her.
You feel that magnetic tug on the bottom of your boots as you walk across the bridge and pass through the force field into the dock. As she sees you crossing the bridge, Talmrin stands up a little bit straighter, excitedly, and as you pass through the airlock, before your helmet is even removed, she begins speaking.
I assume from thy return that thou was successful.
Yes, we have taken the ship with only minimal casualties. The captain was not, we'll say, cooperative, but we've captured 3 of their engineers.
I suppose that it is to be expected for the captain to go down with the ship, but I am glad to hear that thou needeth not kill the rest of the crew. I shall tell my contacts that the crew is ready to be picked up, yes?
Yes, excellent.
Very good. And she goes over to a pipe on the wall and knocks on it a few times in a specific pattern, and you hear the sound reverberate down the length of the pipe towards the entrance to the dock. A moment later, you hear a tapping response come echoing back up the pipe, and she says,
Very good. They shall be here momentarily.
Indeed, a few minutes later, the door to the dock slides open. 2 Dralics and an individual with long, gangly limbs comes walking in. They stomp down the catwalk, and Talmrin says, "They await on the ship, yes?"
Yes, they're in the medical bay. I can lead you unless you need to continue to talk with me here.
My associates will take care of this. No problem.
And she gestures across the bridge. The Dralic and the others suit up and they cross the bridge and head in.
I'll send a quick comm to Mishka and Ukko just to let them know that they're going to have some visitors on board, not to get startled and get them. Mishka or Ukko, could you open up the door for our guests? Talmrin sent some folks to collect our captives.
Sure thing. I'll let them aboard. Yeah, Mishka will go and greet them and let them in, show them to the med bay.
Yeah, so they come in and they wake up the unconscious ones fairly roughly.
Whoa, hey, this one stays here. He's got some, more work for us.
They sort of eye you curiously, and then you see one of the Dralics tapping on his comm unit. Then he says in Aslanti, "Talmrin says they all come."
Yeah, but this one says he can help us with some...
Talmrin says they all come.
Yeah, but I say this one has more work.
He turns and begins tying up all three of them and ushering them out of the med bay.
Looking at Mishka like, bruh, I'm about to...
It's alright. I'm sure we can find out where they're being taken to and question them later. And I'll turn to the Relic like, right, you're just going to contain them somewhere, or can we come speak with them later?
Talmrin has plans for them.
Okay.
And yeah, they round them up pretty roughly, placing them into single file line. And as they are getting round up, Navessah, Talmrin turns to you and she says,
Didst thou investigate the cargo of the ship?
Not too in depth, no.
Very well. No problem.
But I believe whatever's there is yours, correct?
Yes, I shall investigate the cargo and gather the pieces needed for thy disguise.
Perfect.
And then she sort of like looks over your shoulder back across the bridge and she says,
Where art thou, companions?
They were on board figuring out the ship and how to fly it.
Are they familiar with Aslante's ships? Do they know how they function?
I mean, we've crashed a couple of them.
Perhaps it would be best if they were to disembark and allowed me to take care of such things, yes?
Yes, now that you mention it, that might be for the best. Mishka,
Yes.
Talmrin suggests that it might be best if she were to show you how to access and fly the ship. Apparently there are some particularities with Aslante tech that she knows about.
Alright.
When Navessah calms over like that, Ukko's just gonna look to Mishka and psychically be like,
Something feels wrong about this. I don't know if I trust her. Feel like she's up to something else. I think you should check out these computers first and see what you can learn before she gets her hands on anything.
I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but I guess, couldn't help to look.
Couldn't hurt to look.
Yes, sorry. Common is not my first language.
Everything okay?
Yes, we'll be out in a few minutes.
All right, see you in a few.
Yeah, the Mishka will turn to Ukko like, alright, well, I guess let's look for some information.
The helm is that way. We got the code for that. There was another room with a computer right there.
kind of points just across the hall through the open door.
And there's a computer in the engine room as well. Tried that one earlier, couldn't figure it out.
Alright, I will try the computer room.
Ukko slaps the button, opens up the science officer's room first, and motions Mishka in as he's kind of squeezed in the hall here.
So yeah, Mishka, you enter, and yeah, this looks like a pretty standard science officer terminal. Go ahead and make a computers check to see if you can get access to the computer here.
And Ukko will just lean in and be like,
The code was 39433, but I don't know what exactly to. So,
I'll try that if I need a password. Farts. That's 14 on computers. That's not good at computers today.
Navessah did say there were some peculiarities to the Aslante tech, so...
Yeah.
You are able to get basic access to, like, surface level controls. Go ahead and make an engineering check now.
Okay. That I'm a little better at. 18?
You begin looking for basic functionality of the ship, how to start the engine, how to make sure that, the life support is functioning, all of that stuff. And there are just some idiosyncrasies with this that do not make sense to you. Even with that 18, you're just like, this ship is weird. Yeah, it's a little worrying because you know that these instruments are delicate, and if you were to input the wrong information, it could lead to some fairly catastrophic things, depending on what the sort of fail-safe situation is on the ship, which you have no idea what the fail-safe situation is on the ship.
Can I find any information on, what kind of cargo, and what this was just a cargo ship, right? As far as we know?
Yep, this was a freighter on its way to the prison.
On its way to the prison, okay. Yeah, I'll try and find out what kind of cargo they're taking over there.
On this computer, there is no information about the inventory of the ship. This is very much the science officer station. This is about the systems of the ship and their functionality.
Ukko will do a quick calm,
Sorry, we'll be on just a sec, just making sure everything's clear here.
and then lean into Mishka and be like,
Hey, I'm gonna go check the helm real quick. I got that code. Maybe I think I was asking about that, so I'll try it up there.
All right.
By now, Navessah, you see the Relics and that other strange alien creature coming back across the bridge with the 3 Aslanti engineers in a single file line in between them. They pass through the force field and they nod at Talmrin. She just sort of like makes a gesture over her shoulder towards the door, and they nod at her again and usher the Aslanti out of the dock and out of view. And then Talmrin sort of taps her foot and she says,
What is taking that companion so long?
I'm not entirely sure myself. I'll try them again. And just kind of like looks at the people getting taken away. Out of curiosity, if I can inquire, what are your plans with the captives there?
I will let them go, eventually. And in the meantime, I will put them to work.
Can I do a quick sense motive just to make sure that there's nothing sinister going on there?
yeah.
I'm not sure Navessah cares either way, but Navessah rolled a 21.
Nice.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like she's lying at all. Ever since you met her, she's been pretty friendly and upfront with you, and you don't get a sense that there is anything different about what she is saying to you now. And she actually notices your skepticism, and she says,
Doth thee doubt my intentions?
Oh, no, not at all. You've been extremely helpful so far, and we appreciate everything you're doing. I just trying to get a read of the situation is all. I meant no offense.
Yes, do not worry. I will make use of them until thou returneth from the prison moon. Perhaps then we will consider releasing them.
Very well. And I'll get back on the comm unit and just be like, Ukko, Mishka, it's been a while. Did you find your way into the kitchen or something?
Sorry about that. We'll be out right away.
as that was going on, Ukko meandered into the helm and then would first like look at Captain's chair, like essentially trying to find where can I input these numbers.
You would know that it would probably be in the pilot station.
Okay, so Ukko will turn around and look at the front chairs there and like,
Make a computers check.
I am not trained.
Are you trained in engineering? Probably not.
I am actually.
Oh, okay, make an engineering check.
I'm not good at it, but I am trained.
Aw, baby's first engineer.
Natural 20!
Oh, wow. All right, so you are able to identify which one of these is the pilot seat, and just through some trial and error of punching buttons, you are able to get to what clearly is like an ignition screen. It is just a big button labeled Start Engine.
I didn't even need the code.
Well, not yet.
Yeah. Well, Ukko doesn't want to turn it on, and he doesn't know computer. All right. Well, so Ukko was like, "Cool. Well, I did that." Turns around, squeezes past the captain's chair, and goes to the science officer door here, and leans into Mishka.
Hey, the code, I think, was actually to turn on the ship, so maybe you can figure out what they were hauling on one of these computers. Or the captain's chair here.
I think we should go meet up with Navessah and Talmrin. I don't want to keep them too long. Perhaps we can ask.
Just, buddy, do this for me, because I just got a bad feeling and I'd rather be wrong.
Just points to the captain's chair and computer area, just like,
Really quick, you're good at this stuff. I'll stall. I'm huge, right?
so Ukko will actively, physically move himself into a hall, heading towards the airlock, and then wedge himself in and then pull up the comm unit and be like,
Yeah, making our way. I decided to go first, and I'm getting a little stuck here. It's kind of small. Oh,
Did you need a hand?
I honestly don't think you or Mishka could really help me out here. Just moving along.
Well, I mean, I could always go down to the kitchen and see if they had any oil or grease or something
Oh,
and
God,
lube up the
no.
walls for you.
Nope, we're coming. Just patience, please. Safety first. Alright, hurry up. Come on, I'm stalling here. What do they got?
Navessah, the door to the dock slides open again, and you see another strange alien walk in. This one has a gorilla-like body covered in thick brown fur, very muscular and heavy-looking. Talmrin notices this alien, nods at him, and says,
The ship has been cleared. The cargo awaits aboard.
and the large creature just goes and nods its head and begins making its way across the bridge.
As he's walking by, I kind of want to flag him down. Oh, you look big and strong. If you see a dragonkin stuck in a hallway, could you give him a hand? Apparently he's having difficulty navigating the narrow spaces in there.
Talmrin translates this, and the creature listens and then nods its head and continues its way across the bridge.
So as Ukko's stuck and doing that stuff, where would I find what the inventory is on the ship?
You'd probably find that either at the captain's seat or in the cargo bay itself.
Okay, since I'm here, I'll try in the captain's seat.
All right, make another computers check.
I'm hoping from all this we can learn something, if not at least what they're hauling, without physically going there.
Nope.
Damn it!
14 computers.
Yeah, you keep running up against the same issue where you get to a certain point going through the computer and then like the file structure and the way that things are labeled just doesn't make sense to you, and you end up sort of getting lost in the files and stuff, and you don't find anything particularly useful. The airlock door slides open, Ukko, and you see a creature who is just a little bit smaller than you, and he turns and sees you, and without saying a word, just grabs onto your chest plate and yanks you into the airlock door. Ow! And moves past you as he yanks you into the airlock door, and the inner door shuts behind him, leaving you alone in the airlock. Squeezed in there. Like, you know how in Tokyo there's the train stuffers?
Yeah.
Who stuff people into trains during rush hour? He did that to you, shoving you into the airlock.
Well, this is great. Definitely not afraid. No fear. No fear.
You can hear that creature's footsteps stomping away from you.
Psychic, Mishka.
Big gorilla guy's on board. Going to the cargo. Don't know what you figured out. I'm stuck in the airlock again.
I was not able to figure out much. Their computer systems are different than what we have in the Pact Worlds. Should I follow that guy?
Up to you. Just do whatever.
He's clearly just like, I hate this.
I will say, Ukko, you know how to open both the inner and outer door if you want to.
Ukko, in the airlock, squeezes his helmet on and then depressurizes and then gets out.
There's Ukko. Mishka shouldn't be too far behind.
Talmrin just nods at you, still like tapping her foot impatiently.
When Navessah sees Ukko comes out, she'll kind of give him like that wide-eyed, like exasperated look, like, what took you so long? And just kind of like motioning for him to get over here faster.
Looks at her, kind of frowns, like, what? Points to the ship, the airlock, and just like, what the hell? Like, you know the thing is like a tuna can. And he'll saunter his way over.
All right. So yeah, you pass through the force field and into the dock, and Talmrin nods at you and is still staring across the bridge at the ship, waiting for Mishka to appear.
I have a feeling we're just wasting everybody's fucking time just doing this shit. But yeah, Mishka will make his way towards the airlock. Do I see the big boy at any point?
No, you do not. He has assumedly gone downstairs.
Okay. I'll just go out and meet Talmrin.
Okay, so you also cross the bridge, and finally you guys are all back together in the dock, and Talmrin says,
I thought thy mission was time sensitive, but apparently I have more time than I suspected, yes?
Not really. Small ship, big dragon.
Sorry about that. We were just trying to make sure it was indeed truly clear.
She just raises an eyebrow and turns and she says, well, we have our work to do, yes? Let us go. And she begins moving out of the dock.
As they're moving, Ukko will chime in.
So, what exactly, aside from helping us, which thanks, do you have planned with whatever's going on with this ship?
Well, I must take apart certain pieces to give thee thine disguise which thou needeth, yes? And, as we discussed, I will take the cargo aboard as mine payment.
What is the cargo? I didn't get the time to go look myself.
How should I know?
I don't know.
Just this awkward moment of staring at each other.
I assume it is something of value, something that I can use, yes?
Well, it was going to Gulta, right? I suppose it would be whatever a prison planet would need, yeah?
Yes, I assume such.
Could be food, supplies, medical.
Yes, all of which we need more of on Outpost Z. Never enough.
Makes sense. She'll kind of like glower a little bit at Ukko and just nudging, like, play nice with others.
Yeah, sorry. Aslanti get me on edge, and I don't trust their stuff, and their computers don't have an any key, so it's upsetting.
Yes. No one here on Outpost Z trusts the Aslanti.
I don't think any computer has an any key.
What?
Yes.
What? Computers are dumb. Just stops it.
Never mind.
I don't want to hear it. Computers are stupid.
So you guys follow Talmrin. She mostly stays on the ground with you guys. Occasionally, she will take a shortcut where she'll hop into the tunnels and then meet you further down the hall occasionally. But eventually you guys make your way to the cantina, and you find Hassachir lounging in the back of the cantina with both of his arms submerged in tubs of cloudy red liquid, and he says,
You return. I assume your foray was successful then.
Yes, surprisingly it went pretty smoothly.
Good. Now you may traverse Aslanti space safely. Perhaps when your business upon Gulta is done, you can explore the galaxy a bit more. Perhaps you could see the Desimar fly among the auras of Kashoria. I've always wanted to see that myself.
and Talmrin says,
Yes, it is supposed to be quite beautiful, Hassachir. However, this will have to wait, I'm afraid. There is much work for us to do. I will get to work on the ship, of course. But I am afraid that thou hast not sufficiently planned thy infiltration of the prison moon. It will not be an easy task.
Yes, that's probably true.
Alright, here's what I got.
Oh, he quiets down.
The dead captain in there. We go and take his, outfit. Put it on Navessah.
We're prisoners, motioning to Ukko and Mishka.
Wait, it's a cargo ship. Cargo ships transport prisoners.
I don't think so.
Talmrin shrugs and she says, It is not unheard of. If a cargo ship were to stop at, say, an outpost, and there were troublemaker alien species that the Aslanti had reason to detain, then yes, it could be very possible. I think that this is a workable idea. She sort of like looks Navessah up and down and she says, Yes,
Thou couldst pass for an Aslanti. Thine skin is a bit fair, but there are solutions for this if thou art willing.
I suppose if that's what the situation requires.
You need to learn Aslanti.
I've been working on it. I had a very nice conversation with our engineer friend.
With that, she nods and she goes and taps on the pipes again near the wall, and that gangly, long-limbed creature comes in again with a crate underneath its arm, a small, like, footlocker. And you can see that its arm, it's not just wrapped around it like a human arm would be. It's like a vine has grown around this crate, but the vine is, like, fleshy. And he comes over to one of the tables and sets the crate down, and the vine arm unwinds, and he just nods at Talmrin and walks out of the cantina again. And Talmrin goes over to the crate and opens it up, and she produces a few items. Specifically, she pulls out 2 little vials of liquid and hands one of them to Navessah.
This shalt alter thy appearance to make thee look more Aslanti. However, the effects are permanent.
And then she holds up the other one and she says,
Although, perhaps thou could use this one upon thy return to revert thy appearance back to its original form.
Yes, that would be preferred. I wouldn't want the effects to remain permanent.
Talmrin nods and hands you the vials.
What are these called?
Serums of appearance change. And then she gestures at the footlocker, and you see inside of it are what you recognize as UPBs, which are basically the equivalent of credits, but you can also use them to craft items.
This is to cover thy expenses for any equipment or resources thou might need to help thy infiltrate the prison moon. Consider it thy cut of the cargo from the Relic, a total of 5,000 UPBs.
Ooh, I'm sure we can make use of that.
Now, let us get back to business. We must have a complete plan in place.
Yes, about that, actually, I had an idea. Your plan was solid, Ukko, about us being prisoners, but I think the problem with that is most likely they will not allow us to enter with our gear and weapons. So he looks at the crate that was brought in and is like, do you think it would be possible for us to be smuggled in as the cargo that the ship was supposed to bring in?
Yes, this is another possibility. However, it is likely that the cargo would be inspected upon thy arrival, so thou wouldst need a plan in place for this as well.
Alright, I have another idea. Hear me out. Find something that I can fit in. When I inspect, I kill everything. During this panic, the two of you, in disguise and whatnot, find our friend, get her out of there.
No, this shall not work. This is a bad idea.
But what about a prison riot? We go in, let all the prisoners out, make the best of it.
I do not know how this would be accomplished. This is a maximum security prison.
Alright, new idea. Looks like you have some contacts with those death cult guys who are kind of rude. We gather them up, decide, hey, you know what? Let's go attack a prison. And we attack the prison. Who's with me?
The Relic are not that dumb. Thou art proposing a suicide mission.
I don't think a frontal assault on this prison is in the cards, my friend.
No. We'll attack the back of the planet.
I hate to say it, Ukko, but a riot isn't the solution to every problem.
Yes. Thy typical method shalt not work here, large one.
But computers are dumb.
Just nods his head like, I got the final word in.
When they do the inspection of the cargo, is it generally a physical inspection? Do they open the boxes before they bring them in? Or do they just scan them?
I do not know the specifics.
Alright, going back to the first good idea. That was mine, I'll point out. Prisoners.
Pointing at Navessah.
She's gonna look like the captain. She could totally be wielding a blade and some guns, right?
Yes, of course.
We get in, Navessah has carried our weapons in, go from there.
Would she be carrying a sword with her, though? I don't know if that's a standard issue.
Did get this from a lieutenant, so...
It is as Lonti make. I don't think I could take your trident, though.
That is fine, I will smuggle it in, or leave it behind.
Do you still have the sirens of appearance changed? Would they hide her appearance? Could she take weapons on her and disguise them?
I don't think it works like that. I think they only affect my physicality.
This is how I understand it, yes.
And you see that she is like thinking through things, and she says,
Perhaps there is something more that I can do to help thee prepare. And perhaps the cargo of the Relic holds more answers. Allow me 1 hour, and then we shall reconvene, yes?
Very well. Where would you like us to meet you?
Here, I will be back soon.
and she scuttles up the pipe and disappears into the pipes.
Talmrin, wait! Do you have any contacts that have better armor? Talmrin!
She pokes her head back out. What?
Do you have any contacts anywhere that might have something better than what I got on here? It's good, but I might need, I don't know.
She looks you up and down and she says, "Go speak to the Zarb." And then she disappears.
No!
If you want more Dice Versa, consider becoming a channel member. You'll get bonus content for every episode, like deleted scenes and commentary, plus other special perks like access to members-only live streams and more. Just click the join button below and help support the show. Thanks. See you next episode.